spearheaded the effort for the marquee restoration.
So we bought the building, remodeled it. Looks nothing like it used to.
The ugliest Christmas sweater I've ever seen.
Me too.
I have Johnny Fish with us. We're going to explain a little bit about his background and all that fun stuff. Sorry we're a little bit late. We had a few technical difficulties. I want to introduce Alpha Roofing Company, our main sponsor. We're going to be doing that every 15 minutes or so. If you are looking for a roof, make sure you give them a call. They are in Des Moines, Mason City, and they are in Cedar Rapids as well. They're going to be looking at probably a pretty busy summer, but they'll still have plenty of time for you folks. And let's bring Johnny out of the program. This is our 7th podcast. And Johnny Fish, you have kind of a big name in the Minnesota area, don't you?
You know, it's growing, buddy. It's growing.
Well, welcome.
Yeah.
I want to hear a little bit of background. First off, where are you right now? It looks like you're in a log cabin. It looks beautiful. Better than my red chair.
I tell you what, I've been working on a garage for like 5 years, and I'm getting closer to getting it done. I still got to work on the ceiling and everything yet, but I tell you, so I'm in my shop in Big Lake, Minnesota.
So how far away is that from the Twin Cities?
45 minutes northwest. If you're to jump on 94, so I'm about 45 minutes north. Yep.
Okay, so you're not too far.
Not too
Not
far.
like anything. Yeah, it's not like anything that we. Oh, I keep going to the wrong screen here. There we go. We don't. I keep going just to me and not you. So what's your day look like today? Where were you?
Oh my gosh, man. Woke up bright and early this morning. I went over to a place north of Becker, Minnesota. There's a gentleman that works on, he's like a metal fabricator. And I had brought 3 loads of equipment over there the other day to try to get all of my equipment on one trailer rather than taking multiple loads to farm, if that makes sense. So I was over there. I've been running around like crazy. I was in Foley. Went to, Buffalo. I was back to Rogers, went back to Buffalo, in Monticello. I basically just walked in the door here a second ago. So I'm still burning the oil here.
I was going to say, you're sweating a little bit. So people that don't know who you are and kind of what you do, you're kind of, I feel like you and I have a lot in common. We're kind of all over the place. We're kind of doing a bunch of different projects at once, but you're doing a really cool project, the fish sunflowers that we're going to get to first. But primarily, how do you make your money day to day?
I make my money selling and buying real estate. So I got into real estate about 11, 12 years ago. And I was all about helping the public and supporting people. And got in, was involved in some bigger corporate box store brokerages, and got kind of tired of all the red tape and all the micromanagement. And I'm like, you know what? I can do this really good. I want to support. I can offer people trucks and trailers, moving blankets, free storage. They need a bulldozer to clear a building site. I'm like, I'm going to make sales. I'm going to put it into equipment and into relationships to grow. So that's I think it's got to be my 6th year on my own. So
and what was that like? It was, I mean, it's always a struggle at first, and you probably lose sleep a little bit. I know I did when I went from getting that paycheck every 2 weeks to, hey, if I'm not working my butt off and doing everything that I can in my name, I'm not going to have a paycheck. So what was that process like, going from working for corporate, we say corporate, to working for yourself? When was it that it just like, you know what, I'm done. I want to move on, and I want to do this on my, pretty much on my own.
Well, I've got quite a history in like building, right? So construction. I got a grandfather who started an electrical company back in '59, and my father got involved with it, and then his brothers got involved with it. So there's 5 brothers, and over the 50 plus years of being involved with that, obviously one brother had passed away, another one had gone a different direction, and so basically I was in and out of houses all the time and new buildings and stuff, and got to know a lot of people, and was like, hey, I think I can help people in this area. And it gave me the flexibility to actually kind of to be with a grandfather I was named after. I took care of him. He was suffering from cancer. So I got into real estate and dabbled a little bit, but I was also able to help him finish the projects at home, take them to the VA, and build that relationship with them before he passed away. So.
And as you're saying that, I'm going on, and what's your website?
So Fish Realty will take you to our Facebook page. We basically co-brand with Fish MLS Realty. We're a division, and basically a lot of people have asked that, like, hey, what's the scoop? Basically, I do a lot of hands-on. So there's a lot of insurance, there's a lot of liability. So I basically market and brand my team and our service. So again, we do, you need a truck, moving truck. We do that. Moving trailers. You build a house with us. We do free storage for a year in a big Conex box. We've got a moving semi. It sounds really crazy. It's all older, used stuff, but we're just we're resourceful. We make less money, but we know who you're going to call in the end. So, yeah. And
you said, okay, so you're kind of a branch of a bigger company. Obviously, your last name being Fish. So, who else work? You got brothers, you got cousins, you got uncles, aunts, cousins, whoever.
Into real estate, or just in general, as far as like
within this company?
Nope, it's just me. So there's Fish MLS Realty, Fish Realty. There's 75 agents that work for Fish MLS Realty, give or take 75 to 100. It's a small micro brokerage, and I always like saying micro because a lot of us are familiar with like micro breweries, right? And what's neat about those breweries out there is that they're able to adapt to flavor and style. They find the need, right? So they're able to connect with their local city, their community, and basically adapt and make adjustments as needed. And that's what I really, really like about the company is we're not so micromanaged. I mean, we have a structure on how we do things, but we're able to really grow and be our own person, And
I notice you say relationships a lot, and I like that. I like that more than you probably even realize, because I think any business transaction that takes place, it's you assume when there's a transaction placed the first time that there's a relationship that's built, and you want more transactions to happen. And if that doesn't necessarily happen, if it's a good transaction, you're hoping that word of mouth spreads and you go to Fish Realty for anything else that you would possibly need. Agreed. I would assume you're probably on that same level of why you mentioned relationships.
So, I thought to myself, like, the land of 10,000 lakes here in Minnesota needed a Fish Realty. So why not create it? We can relate to it, that people have a lot of connection to. And I thought, well, Fish Realty would be great. And then everyone knew me as Johnny Fish from it. Like, hey, you do well at the real estate stuff. I needed to name the sunflowers something. And I'm like, you know what? I'm known as Johnny Fish. I'm going to roll with it, and I'm going to start Fish Sunflowers. And that's a heck of a story. So,
that's a great story, and something we're going to be talking about as well. That's a beautiful hat.
Thanks.
I love the flannel, man. I mean, you reek of Minnesota, and as well you should. Born and raised in Minnesota.
Born and raised in Minnesota. You betcha, buddy. Yep.
You have not. I mean, have you left at all? Have you?
I flew out of here when I turned 18, and I went up to Valdez, Alaska. I went to Prince William Community College up there, and just got away for a bit. And then I transferred over to Saskatchewan. I went to a private school for a semester, and just basically realized I'm better with my hands. I'm better with my feet than biology, and I'm book smarts, maybe, whatever you want to call it. So, yeah.
But hey, we need people like that, and you have the personality, I think, that is going to allow you to be successful in anything you do. I mean, why did you decide to go to Alaska? That's one of. I mean, I was planning on going there this past August. I didn't for a number of reasons, but Alaska just decided to get out of Dodge for a little while, and let's see what happens.
Like, well, my best friend and his family would go up there every summer and travel, and they tested a lot of their equipment. They maybe you're familiar with Markham Technologies.
Yep.
Technologies, underwater cameras, and depth finders. And the Markham is Marzine and Cummings, and I was really good friends with the Cummings. So they're like best. They're like my best. They're like my second parents. And so they went and traveled, and they actually flew me up there to go camping, and I fell in love with it. And I'm like, this is so insane. These guys are so extreme. And I got hooked. So Yeah,
I don't blame you. You go up to Alaska every once in a while?
once in a great while. It's been quite a few years. I'm due. I'm due to go see them. So they actually left the Monticello area, and they're living out their dream. They bought a charter company up there in Valdez. Oh, not Valdez. I'm sorry, Juneau, Alaska. And they are the coolest people on the face of the earth. Family. So,
And I've never been, but I've seen a number of travel shows on Juneau, Alaska, and it's pretty much just a downtown and a harbor. There's not much else there, is there?
boy, I tell you what, there's whale watching, there's panning for gold, there's hunting. I mean, it's you've got wonderful people, beautiful ocean. I mean, there's a lot there in my eye.
Yeah. Oh, yes. From a nature standpoint, I think 100%. But I'm thinking from if you're a people person, you're not going to see much up there. But I guess if you're going to Alaska, you're not going there to see people. You're going to see non-human things.
You're going there to find nature is what you're doing. Yep.
Yeah. Let's do a quick sponsor update. Of course, Alpha Roofing Company, our main sponsor. They are roofing. They got to be doing it pretty soon here. I'm sure I'll get a comment saying, hey, we're working on it maybe next week, maybe the following week. It all depends on the temperature. But we are going to be talking about them every single week. They're in Des Moines, Cedar Rapids, and they are in Mason City. So the reason I had you come on, Johnny, you and I have been kind of texting. You're a busy guy.
Oh, man.
But last year, I had an opportunity to go to one of your sunflower farms that you put on, and we'll have you explain that in a second. But I mean, the one in Albert Lea we went to was magnificent. I got a chance to go there with my son, and he loved it. He's 4, so I mean, who knows if he'll even remember it? But I'll always remember it for the moments that are put there. Number one, the thing that I think about is in the sunflower farm area where everything is being done, you have different pieces that are set up. You have a piano. You have places that you can make memories, and you have places where you can take pictures. I mean, there are so many cool things. Secondly, I thought about, and this probably should be number one, but of course I'm going to say my son is number one. Number two, there are so many families that went there in memory of someone. And when we went by the piano that was situated I think it was just north of Albert Lea, there was a family that lost their son. I think he had some type of rare disease, and he was very young, had a picture with him. Really emotional to watch it, really emotional, I think, for everyone involved to see it. Mm-hmm. So I thought it was an amazing experience. I'm curious, where did you come up? Give us a little bit of background of people that are out there listening that have no idea where this idea came from and what fish sunflowers, what it is.
Well, I want to go back to some of the real estate stuff. So like upbringing was all about like my family. We come from nothing, and I don't want to bring dishonor to my family, but
yeah,
from a very, very simple household. My dad bought a house for $2,000 they're going to tear down. We moved it out on some land, and our whole childhood consisted of working with our hands and our feet. And we had some time and we had some talent, and we worked hard on that. But I tell you, with like real estate, again, just going through these different trades and learning and understanding different people and how they work. I just knew that I really wanted to serve people. Like real estate I love it, guys. Don't get me wrong, but I love hearing their story. I love connecting, and it's been amazing. So, to answer your question, how did it start? I love yellow. I love yellow so much. I'm legally colorblind, but I can see yellow, and it really just blows me away. And both of my grandfathers I'm named after, and they talked about serving their country, and they talked about farming, and they come from a very simple upbringing where they loved each other, they support each other, but very, very simple, dirt floors type of thing. They're very poor, but they worked really hard, and they appreciated what they have. And I think that those folks make the best individuals, people that just they're self-made, that work hard, that give it a good effort. And so the sunflowers come from honoring my grandfathers and my family, but to honor an old timer that was in this home. And sorry if I get emotional about it, because it's powerful stuff. But I grew up in a very simple house, that house I told you about. It went through a lot. We had storms, we had people that did work that went out of business and things weren't done right. And we really struggled with just getting the project done, the house done. It really became part of our life. I don't know if you ever seen a movie, Money Pit. You ever seen that movie with?
I have.
That was.
I have.
Totally. So we grew up at this old hobby farm, and across the street was this big 4-square house. And I told myself someday I want to own that house. I don't know if I'll ever live there, but I want to own it and I want to fix it up. And I at least want to have the control of what happens to this farm. And I got to know the old timer that owned it. And from my understanding, he was the 5th generation. So it goes way back into the 1800s. It's been the same family. And it's got an amazing story. But I ended up working a deal with him. He was struggling health-wise, really struggling. And he was going to go into assisted living. And he had a green thumb for planting flowers around the house. The house was really tough, guys. It was pretty bad. But he had these beautiful flowers around it. And I thought, well, I'm going to clean the land up and take the old fence down and maybe some of the old sheds and stuff that were really, really in tough shape. I'm going to put a nice fence up. I want to make it look like a park. And I'm going to clear this land. And you can imagine all the stuff in the ground that they buried from the 1800s. But I cleaned
Oh, yeah.
and I grew them sunflowers. And people started showing up. And they wouldn't stop showing up. They kept showing up, and then they kept telling me their story, or I pick them a flower. And I'm like, this is the best thing on the face of the earth. Like, I have people that are appreciative. They're thankful. They're hurting. They're able to kind of heal. And he come out there and was really happy with what he saw. And I think it was just being a good steward to him. So that's kind of how this whole thing started, was having this old farm place, clearing the land, and then growing him flowers. And it turned into this thing year after year where people would show up. I'd say come with $0. Don't bring any donations. There's no political signs. It's just a place of peace. Pick a row and relax. And it really gave a lot of people an empty canvas to express themselves, laugh, cry, be the positive algorithm that we need. And all I said is just, pay it forward. Stop at your local establishments and bless your waiter or waitress. Go buy some Gatorade. Get to know the people in your community. And so, yeah, that's how it started, man, was there. And then I never lived at the house. I bought it and fixed it up, trying to get the wife to fall in love with it, but it never happened. And that's another story. But yeah, so I went from 1 field to 2 fields for a few years. Was out there. I was really hot. I was blessed real estate wise. I'm like, I've done good. And I bought an ice cream truck for the day and served free ice cream, and then did it again for a second day. And it just kind of become this tradition where the ice cream truck may or may not show up. Went from 1 field to 2 fields. And each field was planted in honor of someone or something that's been inspirational to my life. That's how I started it. And I had sold the farm, and I took a little bit of the proceeds from there, and I bought a better pickup, and I bought better equipment, and I started growing sunflowers all over the Northwest Metro. And that's kind of what's up.
That's not only an emotional story, but people our age typically are thinking about families, their own families, to try to make sure that they have enough money, make sure they have jobs, make sure they're watching their parents. And obviously these are things that you're doing because you're a family man. But on top of that, you're setting up other people for happiness.
Yeah, it's been emotional. It's been healing. It's been fun. I think it was my second or third year when I was out to the field with my wife. I saw this guy throw his kid up in the air. And there's if you go on the website, you'll see, but there's some news interviews and stuff. But really what ended up happening is I saw this guy throw his kid up in the air and he's carrying on. The kid's laughing. You look up at the hill and you see another one and another one and another one. You see all these kids getting thrown up, and the girls in their dresses and everything like that. I was like, what did we just do? I'm hooked. I'm in love, So I've been doing it every year. This is my 6th year this year. And I take care of all of it. I have never asked for a penny from anybody. There's no donation boxes. It's just a gift, man. So
That's what I thought was so crazy when we went to Albert Lee to go check it out. I'm looking around like, hey, who's taking money for parking? There's no one taking money to be able to go and do this. I mean, if you wanted to make money from this, you could, and you would still get the same people that are coming. So
Yeah.
why not try to either make money from it or take the proceeds for any of that money and push it forward? Or is that something that you're doing, that the latter one? Obviously, you're not here to make profits.
no,
But-
no, God, this is it's my way to serve. Some people serve their church or their community. They're part of this club or that club or whatever. I'm not part of that. I'm not maybe the best clubby material or whatever. I like to make some decisions. I like to help, and I like to actually have people see. And
I think we lost you. Well, we're still there, but we can't quite hear you.
can you hear me? Okay? No,
Now we can.
All
Now
right.
we can. I don't know what happened there.
I apologize, guys.
If someone has never been to one of these, what can they expect? Kind of give us a glimpse of what it's like to go to one of these places, to one of these sunflower farms, I call them, and why should they go?
Well, a lot of people, I mean, we'll talk about COVID for a second. COVID has really taken a lot of the intimacy away from us. Hugging a grandpa or a grandma or a loved one, or even celebrating their life after death or a birthday. And people haven't been able to get together. And this was a way to kind of go between the lines, if you know what I mean, where we're outside, we're in a safe spot. There's plenty of roses, there's plenty of flowers. And it's a beautiful thing. So it was a creative way to hold on just a little bit longer in a pandemic. And we're almost through. I think there's light at the end of the tunnel. Thank God.
Because Iowa officially is going to be April 5th, everyone can. And as of March 30th, everyone in Minnesota is going to be able to get a vaccination if they choose. So this summer into fall, I think will be much different. All right, Johnny, I want to hear, what's the process like? When do you start talking to folks about getting these sunflowers planted? It changes every year, right? So you're talking to different people. What is it year to year? Kind of tell me what it's like in about now and then the ending through October.
Well, to go back with your question about just like what to expect when you come to the fields, you will see every make and model of individual you can possibly imagine, young and old, disabled, you name it. And they come in their finest sometimes, wheelchair bound, you name it. And really, it's a magical thing. And I think the prettiest, the best thing, the thing that's most beautiful about it is not the flowers. The flowers are so beautiful. It's the people behind them. It's the people in them. And you'll know, I mean, you've got a taste of it. These fields are not, they're not extravagant. They're not huge. There's weeds. There's all kinds of things. Like, they're not perfect, guys. I'm learning, but they represent so much. So every field has been such a powerful field. And just it's been planted. They're kind of sanctuary fields in a sense. And like us, no one's perfect, right?
No, but I mean,
not
as
commercial.
I was going to say, as you're talking, I'm just kind of going through and showing all this stuff. I mean, it's magical, Johnny. I mean, really,
It is.
I don't think anyone even cares necessarily what if there's weeds or if there's a little bit of dirt, because I mean, look at this.
They're driving past the apple orchard. They're driving past the other fields they could go to there in their local town, and they're making it a point to come to these fields. And it's become kind of a tour where they can see different varieties of flowers, different people, different experience every day. It's been really, really fun. So we've done for fields, we've done like caregivers, foster parents. We've done stuff in honor of individuals with dementia, cancer, kids that have lost, their parents have lost a loved one prematurely through SIDS or stillborn, or just maybe a car accident or a drowning or an accident. It's just, man, the amount of hope and healing and just a safe spot to go with not having a bunch of real estate driven down your neck or throat. You know, just enjoy it. There's no expectations. You know, it's just the field of flowers, guys. So make it their own. And sorry to ramble on about that.
How are you? So do you own these farms or these fields, or how do you get in contact with them?
Well, I did a post for a few years looking for people who would be willing to host, and I pay I brush hog everything, I spray everything, I'll two bottom plow, I'll disc, I'll till, I'll plant, I'll spray, and then I come back and do the fields, you know, put trails in and put some props up. But really, it was advertisement on Facebook, just in my local community, and then I shared it to another group, and next thing you know, I become the sunflower guy, and now I've got so many people that want me to grow flowers for them. It's awesome, you know. We need it.
I mean, and if you go to Fish Sunflowers, it's a group on Facebook. I think you have, and maybe more. I think you either have as many followers as I do or more. And when I first saw it, I'm like, holy moly, this is really grown. So how has this grown into kind of your own, almost your own identity to a point? I mean, it didn't start that way. So how did it evolve from year 1 to year 6?
Man, we went from just a few hundred people to a few thousand to, you know, we're 32,000 strong. We filled the Target Center twice, basically, you know. My cousin had said that from Albert Lea and said, Johnny, you filled the Target Center. You've got 15-some thousand people standing outside waiting to get in. He says, that's great. And a lot of these people that are part of this group, I feel like I can have a conversation with them. If I ever need anything, they'd help. It's really personable, man. It's awesome. And I know that a lot of those folks on that group are representing multiple families. Just from talking to them, you know, it'll be one person in a family or every other family that someone will know. But that's how it's evolved, man. It's the positive algorithm. And that was the whole point, is to come in with a grateful attitude. Photographers haven't been able to take pictures of their, you know, graduations and birthdays. They've been broke. They've got computers to fix, cameras to replace. And here they can come from sun up to sundown, and they can come as many times as they want. Just respect it. And they're able to book showings, or not showings, but book their photo shoots. And a lot of them have made tens of thousands of dollars in it. And all I ask them is spread the sunshine, pay it forward, post a picture, man. Why not?
And I like that too. The fact that you're talking about, hey, what was your line about sunshine? As I'm going through some of this stuff, I ended up not. I was trying to go through your Facebook or your website here. I mean, there's so many different. Look at all these. I mean, this is the Albert Lea one that I was at.
Yeah. Yep. There's a little intro. I've got a couple videographers that have helped me out. I'm not techie. I'm not techie. I know we got going late here. I'm learning a lot. But we've had a couple videographers that want to come out and help. So they come out and followed me, and it was raining and sleeting that day in Albert Lea. It was just, I was freezing. I mean, but you know, they've captured a pretty good glimpse and done some interviews with folks, and it's really become just an awesome thing. So.
Okay, so let's step back, and I know I asked this question, but I think I asked two questions at once. What's the process like? Now, give me an example for 2021. What's the process like now for outreach for different types of people that you want to involve, and specifically farmers that you're trying to get their land so you can put out, if it's 20 acres, 40 acres of sunflowers per location. How does this all start? When does it start? Talk to me about that.
So right now, I met with 5 or 6 people this morning, kind of just running around all over the place. And what I do is they know of me, and I look at a location, and that's the biggest and hardest thing is most farmers don't understand or care for sunflowers. Like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? But explaining that to them and what it brings, kind of break the barrier down a little bit. So the process is basically I put an ad out. I don't do too much advertisement now, as far as I never paid for an advertisement, just put a message out. And basically people are saying, hey, come grow us some flowers, come grow us some flowers. So it's driving there, checking it out. It's meeting with city council in the city. It's meeting with landowners multiple times. It's getting there and obviously, spraying, two bottom plow, disking, tilling, fertilizing, spraying. I mean, oh my gosh. So there's a lot to it. I could write a book,
And I was going to say, at some point, you probably will. We're 30 minutes in talking to Johnny Fish. He owns Fish Realty, and also he's the main guy for Fish Sunflowers, a really neat initiative that they have been working on for 6 years. And this is your sixth year, Johnny, or your seventh?
This will be my 6th year growing.
Sixth year of growing. If you want to take a look at some of the stuff, go to fishsunflowers.com and also join the Facebook group. It is Fish Sunflowers. And I believe you have about 35-ish thousand in the group. And the pictures are ridiculously awesome. I mean, the first time I heard of it, I caught it on KAAL. I noticed that they put something on it. And then I was Googling the locations, trying to figure out where it was because I wanted to see it because I was seeing pictures just shared nonstop. And I know personally, I have one picture somewhere. I'm actually going to grab it once I ask you one of these questions. I actually have it framed up with my son on a piano, which is so cool. We're going to do a quick sponsor update. Alpha Roofing Company, the main sponsor for Mavericks podcast. We're talking to Johnny Fish, Fish Sunflowers, and Fish Realty. And Alpha Roofing Company, they are situated everywhere. I know I've gotten to know Willie and Jason and Derek. They're the majority owners for Alpha Roofing Company in Mason City, but they have been busy after the derecho hit in August, and they're going to be busy once again this summer. But give them a call. They're going to have time for you, I promise. So Johnny Fish, I want to hear what's the big plan for 2021. Give us kind of some ideas of what we can expect when I'm going to grab this picture that I see over here too.
I've got some pictures with me too I could share. So as far as 2021, this year I'm hoping to double the amount of fields I've done. So I did 12 last year, was able to release 10. Now we got to realize that the fields aren't huge. We do get hail, we get windstorms, we get tornadoes, that type of stuff. So not always are we able to release them. But I'm hoping to double it. The National Garden Bureau had actually named the sunflower, or 2021, the year of the sunflower. And I've asked people to grow sunflowers as much as they can. Not just it's not about turning the state red or blue. It's about turning it yellow. And I was hoping people would kind of connect with this page, connect with one another, and spread the sunshine. Everybody loves a picture in the flowers. We need
spread the sunshine. Speaking of that, I wanted to show this. This was the piano of Jack and I, my son. This was in the Albert Lee field. I'm guessing this was September, but yeah, when we went, I mean, that it's something that I'm always going to remember. The tractors that are in there, the piano, the different seating, the fact that it's free. It's so cool, Johnny.
It's priceless. That you'll never forget that. You'll be an old man, look at that, and you'll remember this conversation. That guy.
Yeah, you're right. So you're trying to double this. So you went from 12 last year and you're trying to go to 24. Do you have staff? Do you have anybody helping you?
No, I tell you what, the more people you get involved, the more complicated things get. I've had a lot of people reach out about starting a foundation, which we're working on doing. I could get into that, but it just takes a long time. There's a lot of red tape. And the bottom line is this may be a 15-year project looking out to get this all going, or 5-year project, but we need this connection and this continuity now. And someone's got to do something, and we need it so bad. So I don't have a committee. I've got a few people that reached out. Some artists have helped me. I think you can probably see some of the stuff behind me. They love me. They support me. And they're just doing what I've asked as far as just spraying the sunshine. They're being artistic. They're sharing the good news. And yeah, so as far as doing this, growing, doubling it, I'm working on the trailer situation where I can put everything on the trailer. I don't have to take multiple trips. A need and a want are two different things, right? So I always say, do I need nice long hair? Full set of hair? Well, yeah. I can get by all right. So, does that answer your question? I'm
It does.
meeting, greeting, and I'm connecting. And I tell you, when it comes to the field process, there's some local farmers that I now are stepping up to help work the ground a little bit. That's a big part of it. And then as far as when things actually take off, I think there's going to be a lot more help this year. People just to help with like parking and some signage or some fence, just to make sure we're not getting into some other crops or other people's personal property, if you know what I mean. So.
If there are people that are watching or eventually are going to be watching from your Facebook page, mine, YouTube, or watching live right now, how can they help?
Right now, I think it's just spread the word. I mean, I want to come to your town, talk to your mayor, talk to your city council. I want to get my butt down in Minneapolis in the worst way. I want to do a field. Last year, I didn't really feel bad. I didn't get one for the veterans. I want to do a field for the veterans. There was a big helicopter crash up here near St. Cloud. I know that they're building a memorial. I'd love to get there. I mean, my heart for veterans is so. Man, we got to thank them for a lot. They haven't been getting the best rap, but I tell you, spread the word. The more of the talk that they do before I get there, if they have a spot picked out, the better for me, because I can get there and I can punch it out. I mean, I can go, and that's what it's all about. That's the only way it's going to get done.
And for you, you've done these primarily in Minnesota. The talk is maybe you want to stretch and broaden things out a little bit, correct?
Yep. So I donate seed at these fields or these cities I go into. I try to bring seed packets. But yes, I'd like to spread. We've had people call from Kansas, Iowa, North Dakota, South Dakota, Wisconsin, Madeline, and part of it is the challenge to get there to do it. So I'm hoping that I can make it happen, man.
I mean, that would be pretty cool. The fact that you had a dozen in Minnesota, and then think about planting seeds in other states. I mean, I have obviously connections in Wisconsin, that's where I'm from, and I have connections in Iowa, I have connections in Minnesota. But to have connections and then to fulfill what you're looking for and actually having someone to donate some of that land, it's difficult. So
farmers don't like giving up land very often, and part of it's understanding the process. And just so if they're out there listening, that I can come in, you can do everything you do in your field. You can disc, you can fertilize, you can plant. I can get in after that. If even if it's a headland, I can do a headland. These flowers bloom between 50 and 60 days. They last for good pitchers about 10. And then I can harvest them, and I'm out of your way. So I can get there after and be out before you harvest. So don't.
What are you doing with the sunflowers after? You just let them die, or you get them to try to get to people, companies?
Honestly, depending on the location, if we can get in there to harvest, we will. If we can't, we let them stand, dry out, and give to like the bird seed.
Yeah.
Turkey, deer, they'll gobble it up. Some fields we do U-pick, so they're able to jump on and do U-pick, which is really cool. And then they take the whole head and they'll put it on their bird feeder, and yeah, it's kind of fun. You've been doing this for, go ahead. Were you going to say something? Oh, you've been doing this for 6 years. What's one of your favorite memories from this so far? People, man, all of them. So I emailed you something. I don't know if you got your phone handy. I don't feel like reading something.
I don't know where my phone is.
You had your phone, or you had something you could read. I actually
here it is.
Actually message you something. So if you look at your messenger, it'd be the one
Let's take a look here.
I got.
I can't find it. It's not on my messenger.
So there is a message that was on there, and it basically shares about this photographer that showed up. Did you lose me?
Nope. Well, now I can see you. I think because you were looking at your phone, it probably did that. Let's take a look here.
So it should have been sent to you on Facebook, but no big deal.
Oh yeah, I can't get, if it went to my my like page, I can't get to it right now just because of how the live stuff is all working.
Well,
So explain to just a brief explanation.
to give you an idea what's going on with these folks is, we did one field for children that have died prematurely from SIDS or stillborn. And my first field I released last year was in Corcoran. And this gal showed up and she took beautiful pictures. And she had a daughter named Everly. And Everly lived 20 minutes and she passed away. And this girl was going through this really hard time. And she heard someone call Everly. And she's with her family. She's got some other kids and her husband, and she's been struggling. And she heard that name, and it was just wonderful. So she wrote about that experience, about being there, how healing it was, and how it was just an awesome day. And she was very thankful. And then later in the year, as she went to these other fields, and she's a photographer, she shared all these stories. But she actually threw her daughter a 5th birthday, the one that had passed away. She got family together, and she threw a party. She threw a party out there, and her words are on our website on the first page, that second piece to what she wrote. And
Get that up here.
And you read that, I'm just going to sit here and be quiet. But that's what I'm talking about. It's all about healing and connection. And that's just one.
Well, let's see if we can find it. It's on the first page.
Yep, that's her
right here.
We just put that up there. Yep. That's her and her baby. And can you read that okay? You think, Chris? Or
Yeah.
no?
Yeah. I'll go ahead and read it.
Give that a shot, buddy.
So this is 5. This is 5 baby girl. I'll still always call you that because my youngest daughter, you'll always stay. But this is 5. So much time has passed, yet I feel you are here on my chest like yesterday. Today was all for you. With everything we did today, it was intentional because it was your day. The day of your birth. You fought for so long, baby girl. I know you love to breathe in my arms. Your 20 minutes, it was amazing. I'm sorry I missed your fight, but I know I was there fighting too. I would honestly do anything for you and over again. But that one day was all we got. That 20 missed minutes, handing you into the arms of the doctor to give you more than 20 minutes. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. That our love and everyone's fight was not enough. Today hurt without you here, more than I anticipated. It's so quiet celebrating a birthday girl dancing in heaven. I know heaven's a wonderful place to celebrate, but if I could just hug my 5-year-old girl for 1 second, maybe today would have felt better. I really wish heaven worked like that. I really, really do. These years might be a little easier living without you in my arms. I whispered to your dad at the very end of the day. It still hurts, he said, I know. But he also said this, that you've done more than for us than we could have ever done for you. And I think, baby girl, that your dad is a very smart man. You've opened up our hearts to love further. You've brought new friends in our life, deepened the good ones we've already had. You sent us the gift of a brother on earth to hold who's a miracle we never thought we'd get again. You've shown us how fleeting life is. We cherish it more. You've opened my heart to a different path behind a lens, and I can see this year, this path you meant to take. We have different dreams as a family now, a different sense of a watchful eye, a lot of love, and a knack for enjoying the small things in life. You taught us that messages from heaven come in so many ways, but your favorite way is through your sunflowers, sunsets, butterfly kisses. I'm sorry your garden and your yard of sunflowers didn't do well this year, but I'm so thankful Minnesota was blessed with a man named Johnny Fish. He planted so many flowers. I've gotten to visit every field but one, and working and walking through those sunflowers have left me with so much peace. We've decided to have your birthday party in one today. Us, your sisters, grandparents, aunties, uncles, friends, godmother, of course, who is Sarah, and your friend Brooklyn. She came to celebrate. Mom took a break, hired a photographer for once. It was perfect. Probably the only time I really felt joyful and at peace today. Your birthday was 100% meant to be in that sunflower field. It was a dreary day, but I prayed for a sunset all day and at the last minute, I spotted those pink skies you left to me to spy, shining from your party in heaven. I know you are surrounded by love today, baby, both here and in heaven. Alice asked where your present was. I told her Mom gifted to another year this year since Everly isn't here to receive. Mom gifted photos to families connected and meant to receive from your sister. But I wish I could experience 5 on Earth with you. Kindergarten, your first loose tooth, maybe a dance, maybe soccer. Would you love our chickens too? Or love our tractors like your brother? I'll never know. I hate that still. Thomas calls Sunflower sissy. Alice talks about you every day. They should have had you here. We love you, baby girl. To heaven and back, I hope you felt how loved you were today, and really every day. But celebrate it a little extra today, because today was your special day, forever and always. That's a tough one to read.
Yeah, buddy. So that's just one out of many. And I tell you what, there's been people have lost family members to suicide. I have that are able to come out and heal and share. We've been able to catch some of that on camera, but the content it's just bottlenecked. It's just so much content and so many people that are just so hurtful or hurt that just need to heal and need a breath of fresh air. So that's what it's all about, man. That's it. Awesome.
What do you, so the final question I'll ask you, what are you looking most forward to in 2021 for your sunflower fields?
I tell you what, just more connecting, healing. I'm excited to meet see all the familiar, but then to meet a lot more new ones.
And when will you know where the fields are and where can people find them?
Good question. Great question. So the fields will release where they're at as far as what cities we're coming to, and we might throw a few extra ones in there as we go, as it gets closer. Right? Sometimes we're kind of flying by the seat of our pants of where we can go. But on our website, under locations, you'll see it'll say for instance, Big Lake. We don't give the actual address out until like a day or two before we go live, and that just cuts down on the premature traffic, right? Because most of these are on private property. Some of them are on city lots and stuff like that. But to keep the traffic down, that's what you got to look out for. Get on the e-newsletter, get on the Facebook page, and just watch. And we will try to communicate the best we can of when they're released, where they're going to be. It's kind of fun. It's kind of fun that way. Can I mention one other thing, Chris?
Yep.
Because I know you're scrolling through the website there. Over the last 5 years, I have never accepted $1 from anybody. I don't want anything. And I really want to be careful on how I do that. Okay? It's a gift. It's like going to your grandparents' place is what I say. Like your grandparents, they serve you, they wine, they dine you. You know, whether you want a cup of coffee or not, they're there. They're there to just serve and they love you. It's a gift. Their service is a gift. And that's what I want to make sure I continue to do is just I want to keep it really simple, and not ask for anything in return. I know we've had a lot of people ask about how they can support. Obviously, time, talent, spreading the sunshine, getting on and posting a picture. This year, we decided that we will allow some support if people want to. And I can tell you that every cent that does come in goes directly into seed, fertilizer, equipment, and if there's anything at the end of the year, it's going to go to some of these foundations to just totally bless them. Delightful gifts, delightful surprises, and sorry, rambling.
Spread the sunshine, Johnny Fish for Fish Sunflowers and Fish Realty. Appreciate you coming on the program, and you can see all the material. Make sure you join the Facebook page, Fish Sunflowers. Also, you can see the website right here. If you want to look at some of these stories, they're remarkable. The gallery is great. The website is fantastic, fishsunflowers.com. And I know I'll be hearing a lot more from you. We'll probably bring you back on the program when you start to open up some of these sunflowers later on this fall.
I got some great news I found out today. And
let's hear it.
You've heard about the Allina Health Clinic in Buffalo, Minnesota. It was national news. But start this year off in Buffalo, and it's going to be awesome. I just locked down a field. We are Buffalo, that's where we're going to begin. So if you want to know where we're going to start, we're going to start things off in Buffalo, Minnesota, and we're going to get behind that community and those businesses, those people, and those health workers, and we're going to hopefully knock their socks off. So
we already know the first one, Buffalo, Minnesota. That's where we're going to for sure have a sunflower field.
It's going to happen, buddy.
All right, Dave, thanks for coming on the program. Stay in touch, and God bless you and everything that you're doing. I mean, it's awesome, everything. I mean, people our age putting that kind of time and effort in, you're an angel on earth. So thank you very much, Johnny Fish.
Thank you all. Love you very, very much. I can't wait to see you in the fields in 2021.
Take care. God bless everyone.